Question of the day. What is your favorite game where you take tiles and lay them on a board? No, not polyominoes this time. These are actually squares, rectangles, and that's it. A game about the newspaper. Remember that? I remember it because as a magician, illusionist, mentalist, whatever you want to call it, we had two great effects that dealt with newspapers. And now if I pull out a newspaper, people go, well, that's a gimmick. That's a prop. Nobody knows what a newspaper is anymore. You can even make the joke that a lot of magicians do in a hacky way of, hey kids, this is the internet printed out on paper.
You sure about that?
But that doesn't work anymore because people go, what's paper, right?
Real business is done on paper, okay? Write that down.
Newspapers don't make sense anymore when it comes to gaming or magician tricks, magic tricks. I don't know why I stumbled over my own career. This game is all about an old school newspaper in the bullpen. You've got your 3D desk. Love that 3D desk. You're taking tiles. You're trying to make the best newspaper for your critters to read all about what is happening in the local town. So let's take a look at Fit to Print. We'll come back up, talk final thoughts right now. All right, this is Fit to Print. Everybody will get a newspaper with a double-sided newspaper here. This is the Friday-Saturday side. You're going to start there. You're going to start with a starting centerfold tile or centerpiece main story tile. Then you're going to have a 3D desk. Now, there will be this giant stack of tiles laid out face down in the middle of the table. Now, I'm not going to do that for setup because I want to show you strategically some things on this. The different types of tiles mainly. You've got pictures, you've got advertisements, and you've got articles. Now, the way this works is you're going to be taking tiles in the printing phase, or you're going to be taking tiles in the first phase, all while there's a timer going, 3, 4, or 5 minutes, depending on what you want to do. You're going to reach over and grab them, and you're going to turn them face up over this desk. And you have to reach over, put it over the desk, and then turn them face up one-handed. That means you can't just be going like that. So you're going to reach over, you're going to check this, you're going to turn it, and if you want to keep it, you drop it on your desk. Same thing with pictures. You'll reach over, face up, put it on your desk. Advertisements, same thing, reach over, turn it face up, put it on your desk. If you don't want them, you leave them out face up, which obviously means other people can see what they are. Now the reason you do this is a couple rules. Pictures can never be adjacent to pictures. If they are, you have to flip them over. Now these don't do anything negative for you, they just take space, which is good because empty space at the end of the game, or at the end of the round is not good. Pictures can't be adjacent to pictures. Articles can't be adjacent to the same color article. This is blue. Now you'll notice though, this picture scores a point per adjacent green or blue article. So if I put this here, not only do I have a nice looking little picture here, a nice looking newspaper, I fill that space, but this will score that picture a point. Advertisements are different. Now you can put them anywhere on the board. They just can't be adjacent to other advertisements. If you do, same rules apply. You also have this main story here, the centerpiece, and this is what's known as above the fold. Just like in a newspaper, the premium spot is front page above the fold. Newspapers is this thing they used to have. But you'll count up the dollar signs at the end of the round as well and keep track of that because at the end of it, the person with the least amount of dollar signs can't even qualify for winning the game, no matter how many points they get. In a two-player game, the person, if you are more than 5 total dollar signs behind the other person, it's a -10 bonus against you. You'll then keep playing these out. Now, if you have too many left over, it's a negative as well. You'll score -1 points for every piece you have left on your desk. You do have to keep them on your desk and use them for later rounds. The hardest part is trying to figure out how many pieces do you actually need because you don't know, especially the first time playing, kind of what it looks like to have that many pieces out. You'll do this 3 different times. Saturday, you'll go out to this border, and then Sunday, you'll flip over, you go out to here. Your main story will change each time, and they'll score differently each time, but it does have to at least cover that square with the star on it. You'll play it 3 times. Now, there are personal player powers that you can get. There are breaking news events that will happen, but essentially, you're going to do that 3 times and score points. Really, really simple. The centerpiece will score points. The person with the largest blank space will take a negative penalty. Person with the smallest blank spaces, the single blank space size of their whatever, you will get a bonus for if you have the smallest blank space left on your board. -1 for each of these. And then you'll count the advertisement points and you'll play the next round. At the end of the game, you'll see who has the total score that is the highest. Person with the most points wins the game. And if you're the first one done printing and laying out your page, or reporting and laying out your page, you'll grab the first marker there, then second, then third, then fourth, or whatever. Actually, it plays all the way to 6, which is great out of the box. And then you will choose first of the next round centerpiece tiles. So that's how you play Fit to Print from AEG. All right, so as you know, in 2024, we've been taking these games and breaking them down by rubric system, not that cube.
See, that's all I ever do.
So as you know, we've been taking the games and breaking our scores down into a rubric based on certain aspects that we would rate a normal game by. Again, these are subjective. You may rate and weight some of these a little heavier than I would, but that all depends because, again, board game reviews are subjective. There are games that you give a 9 that I give a 4, and games I give a 9 that you give a 5, right? That's just how board gaming works. You don't like all the games I like. I don't like all the games you like, but that's what makes the world go round. And subjectivity in reviews is the best. Anybody who tries to act like their review is objective or their thoughts on the game are objective because of X, Y, and Z are pulling your leg and trying to sell you land in places that don't have water and sea coasts, but they're trying to give you oceanfront property. Idiot. Anyway, concept for this. It's an 8.5. I love this. You're doing an old newsroom, but you're not just people. You're not old, what's his name? Clark Kent's buddy, Jimmy Olsen. No. You're not. You're a critter. A cute, adorable creature wearing a suit and a tie and the sandwiches on their desk with coffee stains. I love it. So the art or concept is at 8.5. You're making a newspaper and you really are taking the clippings just like you would if you worked in the newspapers back in the day. You're taking the stories and you're pasting them on, trying to get your layout to look great. The board layout is an 8. I really like this, even though it's a fairly simple board layout. You've got your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday pages. It makes sense and it tells you what to do and everything just kind of flows. I like the fact that that gets into the mechanic. I like that you have this big pile of tiles in the middle of the table. Now you have a center scoring tile that can be adjusted based on a few ramifications, of certain things where you can put it. But you start picking up tiles, you turn them over and you go, okay, I want to put this on my desk. I don't want to keep that. The hardest thing we'll get to in a minute is knowing how many tiles to take or not. Art direction is an 8.5. Everything makes sense. Even the symbols on the scoring tiles make sense. If you have to look them up, you can look them up. Everything just is straightforward when it comes to how to play this game with the art direction, including even how things score on the articles and the photos and things like that. Very, very simple. Art's a 9. I love the way this game looks, especially the photos in the newspaper blocks. They look great. Like you've got the tortoise beating the hare and then you have the story about the tortoise beating the hare. So many little details and Easter eggs are in here that I absolutely adore. So art is a 9. Gameplay is an 8.5. Now this is up from the mechanics even. Now the reason I like this is because I like how you take them, you put them on your desk, you put them, then you start moving over to that phase where you put them onto your newspaper. It's very stressful. This game is too cute to be this stressful. You have a timer. However, what's great is you pick the tiles that you want to use. You put them on your desk, and then you start laying it out. If you overpick, you're going to lose points. And if you underpick, you're going to lose points because the person with the most white space loses points. The person with the least amount of white space gains points. So it's very difficult there. Plus, there's the ads. You can't just go, well, we're self-supported. We're not selling ads. You have to sell ads so that you can be in the runnings to even score. That, to me, is really cool because if you're out of business, no one's going to read your paper anyway. Very cool. Gameplay is an 8.5. I really adore how this game plays. The rule book's an 8. It's very solid. Teaches you everything you need to know. It shows you, what each card does for the special scoring. It shows you what your player powers are and things like that. It even gives some backstory. And the one bear's name, classic Mandela effect, is Mr. B. Ehrenstein or something like that. It's a pretty great little nod there. Total for this game is an 8.2. Rounds down to an 8. Love, love, love this game. Absolutely my favorite tile laying game right now. And no, it's not polyominoes, and I don't care. I like squares and rectangles. I like stuff to be symmetrical on a newspaper and all that. I love the way this game scores. I love how articles score and photos score. Love this game. This is permanently staying in the collection. We picked this up at a game shop about, 6 weeks ago. Absolutely adore this game. So make sure you check out Fit to Print from AEG. I am Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Dice Tower Bryan. Carla does an amazing job of keeping up with that, putting what we're playing, what we're doing, if I'm painting or whatever. Hadn't painted in a while. I need to get back to that. And also check out the merch store at DicetowerStore.com. We've got a lot of great items on there that you can pick up if you're going to the retreat live in person. I'll have some there as well. Or you can order them and have them shipped to your house. New stuff is coming for the fall. So until next time, we'll see you.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. And you can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.